I am Samina Tariq from a Foodys kitchen, and today I'm sharing a recipe for lamb biryani. I shared a chicken biryani recipe earlier and the feedback has been great, so I thought I'll share a lamb biryani with you guys as well, because just the meat and one or two spices are different, otherwise it's quite similar to the chicken biryani. So let's take you to my kitchen and get cooking. In my biryani ingredients, I have roughly 3 cups of rice, which is 750 grams, which I rinsed few times and soaked in plenty water. I have 4 to 5 onions which are peeled and cut, 4 to 5 tomatoes peeled and cut, cooking oil, 1 cup yogurt, dry coriander, salt, mixed garam masala and ground garam masala, turmeric powder, red chili powder, ginger and garlic paste, some dried plums, and 1 kg lamb which is cut into curry chunks and it's on the bone. After soaking the rice, I'm just going to marinate our lamb. I'm using half of the yogurt just now and keeping the half for adding it later once the lamb is cooked. 1 to 2 tablespoons of ginger and garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of red chili powder, about 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now the garam masalas and the plums, they're going to be used later. We're just needing these ingredients for marinating the lamb. And the yogurt, it helps cooking the lamb and marinates it really well. So we're going to leave it aside for half an hour. So we start by heating 1/4 cup of oil. Biryani does take a bit more seasoning and spices and a bit more grease than the other dishes. Now at this stage, if you want to add any curry leaves or whole spices, it's entirely up to you, but I'm just adding the onions and I'm going to allow them to soften and lightly brown for a good few minutes. Once onions turn golden brown and soften a bit, we're adding the marinated lamb and all the yogurt from there. Because the yogurt has all the seasoning and spices, so it's quite important to use all of it. So you just need to saute this lamb for a good few minutes. After a few minutes or good 5 minutes of frying the lamb, I'm adding the tomatoes. And we're going to carry on cooking by adding water, covering the lamb with 2 cups of water and letting it simmer until it's cooked through. And later on we're going to stir fry the sauce to make it thickened before we can add any rice to it. Our lamb is cooked through for the biryani, so it's just a matter of reducing this sauce, because if the sauce is too watery, it is going to ruin the rice. So it's quite important to make the sauce quite thick and condensed. So I'm just adding some other ingredients, which is 1 tablespoon of dry coriander, which is roughly ground, 1 tablespoon of ground garam masala. We'll keep some for the layering as well. So I'm just keeping star anise here and adding some of the whole spices. Meanwhile, I have drained rice here and I have a big pot of water boiling here. I have good 6 to 8 cups of water here. I am adding 1 tablespoon of salt to this water and using it for partially cooking the rice for biryani. So we need to allow and cook the rice until they are slightly underdone. Then we're going to drain the water and keeping it aside. Our rice is partially cooked and it's just slightly underdone. So I'm just draining the water and getting ready for layering the biryani. Our lamb is ready and we're just preparing for the layers now. So I'm adding the plums. I have added all the garam masalas to it. Just going to stir in the yogurt and removing it from the heat before I can show you some of the garnishing ingredients. some lemon and lime, some herbs, green chilies, boiled eggs, butter and some spices. Now the herbs, if you use them for steaming the rice, they turn brown and they don't look nice, they don't taste nice. The lemon and the lime, they usually have wax on them, so it's best to soak them in warm water and then wash them properly and then try to remove as much wax as possible because that wax is bitter, and then slice them for using them. Either you want to use them for layering or for garnishing. First of all, we're heating a chapati griddle. It's still on the heat. I'm placing the pot on top and I'm greasing the pot with some butter. You can use the butter paper or just a knob of butter, but for doing it, that seals the pot and the rice does not stick to it very much. Adding first layer of rice. And then covering it with some lamb and the sauce. For this much rice and lamb, we aim to have at least 3 layers. Now between the layers, you can add some butter, sprinkle of garam masala, and just top it with the lamb again. We need to use all the rice and all the lamb and the sauce. And on the top layer there is going to be some garam masala and some food color. Now the top layer is always nicer and it takes a bit more time, a bit more ingredients. So it's going to take a pinch or more of the food color. You can dilute it with the milk, yogurt or water. I'm just sprinkling it on top. Placing star anise on top, knob of butter here and there. Now, I don't really like lemon very much, but I'm just adding 1 or 2 slices of lime. I don't want very much skin on there, so just going to seal it with foil and leave it on full heat for a few minutes to create steam inside. And once we have enough steam, we're going to move it on the low heat for a good 10 to 15 minutes. How you can tell there's enough steam in the pot or how the steam is gathered is, you touch the top and the sides of the pot and they should be hot. They should be quite hot to touch, and then you move it to the low heat. So our biryani had 10 to 15 minutes of steaming time and 10 to 15 minutes resting. So I'm just going to open it, and the biryani layers shouldn't be completely turned or completely stirred. It's just, you leave some layers and start adding the garnishing. So here's our finished dish, lamb biryani, which you can serve with plain yogurt or raita at the side.